reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network. You're listening to Guild Wars Reporter on the MMO Reporter Network. Brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. And by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapon at doghousesystems.com.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Guild Wars Reporter. This is episode 107. I'm Celeste, and as always, I'm joined by the lovely Alona.
Hello, Celeste.
And surprise, surprise, we also have a wonderful guest that has stepped off of the Edge of the Mists and other World vs. World maps in order to come and impart his knowledge to us.
Hello.
And he has a name, and that name is Professor Enzo.
This is true.
And apparently I'm not lovely.
Well,
You're lovely. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to imply
have-
otherwise.
what about a different descriptive?
It's probably relative to you two. I'm not very lovely.
What's another good one other than lovely? Beguiling. The beguiling Professor Enzo.
This works. I approve.
I accept.
You are now quite beguiling.
We were trying to think of things we could do with the show, and so we thought, well, there's not been an awful lot of news, and what should we do? Well, there's still the World versus World spring tournament going on. Why don't we talk about the World versus World tournament this week, which neither Celeste or I know an awful lot about, so
This is true.
we brought in a ringer, essentially, and then there was news, and we got basically a year's worth of mail, viewer mail,
Yeah.
or listener mail. So it ended up being like a single topic show to all the topics show.
Yes, indeed it has.
I wanted to thank you all for the invitation.
Of
Thank
course.
you for accepting and for being our tour guide, which we will discuss later.
Indeed.
So, Professor Enzo, tell us a little bit about your beguiling self.
I have a long and storied history. No, just as far as Guild Wars go, I was playing Guild Wars 1, I guess, from a year when it came out and through till Guild Wars 2, and then I switched over. I actually somewhere had a PC magazine with Guild Wars 2 on a cover, and I believe it was from 2009 or something. It was years and years before it was coming out. So I saw that and I'm like, this is the game I want. I want this, the events, everything they're talking about in this. And then it just disappeared forever. Then it came out, we got in betas and start playing. So yeah, I've been in here since launch and all the betas, running around with my guild and doing stuff, and actually was doing mostly PvE. Wasn't that interested in any player versus player. To be honest, I've still never gone into a structured PvP match.
Me neither.
As I think they intended, as everyone gripes about having to do the World v. World maps for map completion. Like, okay, great, I got everything else. Might as well go try doing that. Got in there, started running around, made a bunch of friends on the server who were always running in the Borderlands on basically the same time every day. So there was a standard group of us that always met up. And we started having fun and playing and joking around. And it occurred to me that this is kind of fun. I'm enjoying this. I started doing that a lot more, especially when before the Living Story had kicked off, and the first month of repairing signs and gathering refugee heirlooms. And oh God, I think everyone admits that wasn't really a great month. So there was lots of World v. World for me in that one also, because I wasn't really doing alts at the time either. So it was just the natural progression of what else is there to do with my character. So ran around, have a commander tag that I only use in emergencies, because I was commanding more on the Borderlands at that time, and on the Team Mumble chat and everything would go well. Haven't commanded for a few months, and clearly it is something that you need to maintain practice at. Because the last time I popped that tag, it was just ugly. And if anyone happened to be following me at that time, I apologize. It did not go well. Therefore, I still have it, again, for cases of emergencies, like we're under attack in our borderlands and every other commander has to leave all at once, which is what happened. Okay, I'll use it. Otherwise, I'll just pretty much run around and follow.
You used it for the marionette fight stuff, too.
It did use it a lot in PvE. They've been adding things where those would come out. The Scarlet Invasions was a good use for commander tags. Guild Knights are where we mostly use commander tags as we're doing our bounties, as we're running around. Where's Trixie? Where's Trixie? Where's Trixie? Oh, I got her. Okay, everyone over here, follow the tags. Okay.
Yep. Follow the Doritos.
The blue Doritos. So anyhow, that's really what I do in game at this point.
Jawa in the chat room recognized you as being on another podcast.
I was on Tales of Tyria for a while there at the end, which was kind of sad. I felt like we were just kind of hitting our stride when Team Legacy moved on from the game, which I understand. A lot of what they were looking for wasn't really in Guild Wars 2 at that point, and a lot of the people just had gotten bored and wandered off to other games. And I can see if most of your friends aren't playing the game anymore, that has less of an appeal then. It was sad, but it was fun while it lasted.
Well, and that's where I remember you from.
It's my claim to fame. It does make me smile every once in a while. Someone will still come up to me in game and say, "Hey, weren't you on that podcast?" Yeah.
That was me. I did that, remember?
Well, others have too. Of course you did, and then I got you into our guild to go run guild nights every once in a while, and now we hang out.
Yep. Follow the commander
Dorito
tag.
Everyone to the Rio. Everyone who didn't get it Saturday, are you here now? Are you here now? Is everyone here? Oh, wait, are you here? Okay, everyone's here. No, wait, hang on. Almost one more. Okay, they're here. Now start it. Why does this sound familiar to everyone?
Because it is very familiar. So thank you for joining us for our World versus World, well, previously World versus World centric
now that
episode, which is now kind of mailbag.
And
episode.
Thanks ArenaNet for announcing stuff just when we thought nothing was going to be announced.
Yay!
They're so sneaky.
No, not complaining.
We like good surprises.
So we do actually have a few minutes of kind of a Q&A that we'll go ahead and insert here, so you guys can get a better understanding of World versus World, and just a few of the common questions that I think come up when people are trying to think about getting into it, which I know we're coming towards the end of the season, but it's still a good time to jump in and play, and if you're curious about dipping your toes in the water, there's definitely a whole lot to jump in for. So how did you get into World vs. World in the first place?
It was actually, even before they started doing the seasons, I had gotten to 80 and didn't really have anything else to do. So I just, well, let me go try this. And it was also needed for the map completion. So I started going and playing around in the home borderlands and met friends there that I was playing with. And so I would just, instead of coming home and running dungeons, I would come home and log in and hang out with friends on Mumble, and we would make jokes and run around the home borderlands. What do you all think of World v World now that you're playing with it a little bit more? Just, oh God, I want this over with, or...
I like it. Actually, I really like Edge of the Mist. I find it kind of like if I feel like popping in for a little bit because the map's so much smaller. I feel like it could be useful more easily. Just pop in, do a few things, and leave if it's not a huge deal. Doesn't take forever to get anywhere.
I kind of prefer the regular maps.
Yeah.
But Edge of the Mist is pretty fun in the fact that I can't mess things up. And that's attractive to me as somebody who's not knowing what the heck is going on.
Yeah, I know that at best, I'm contributing. At worst, I'm not buggering up our chances on the real maps. Maybe that's also an at best.
It's kind of hard to, you can't really mess things up. Dropping siege that isn't asked for, that's not a good thing, but it's not like you can go in and open a gate for the enemies to come through or something.
Well, with some of how the commanders will talk back to you on the map chat, it kind of feels that way.
Yeah, well, they have their overall plan. And here's an example. I guess a few weeks ago, a group from our guild was going to go into World v World. We just wanted to go run some people around. They were trying to get used to, they were people who hadn't played that much. And so when we went in there, we were all partied up, and I saw there was a commander running around on the map. So I just sent him a whisper, and I said, hey, we're doing guild night. We're just running as a little havoc squad. We'll be taking camps and sentries and stuff. Let us know if you need us to do anything. And just that acknowledgement of, hey, we know you're here, but we want to play the game too, is generally appreciated. And he was like, oh yeah, sure, have fun. And I guess a half hour later, he was like, hey, we were going to go try and do this. Can you all do a diversion there? They're like, yeah, sure. We'll go over here and attack this tower and try to distract them. And you can go do this. See, like here, where people just started dropping flame rams at random, that would really piss off a commander in a real map, because it's wasting siege, and they know how much siege they have, and they're planning to go build 2 more flame rams at another gate, and then maybe do a golem and whatever. So throwing down siege, there's no way to stop people from building it, so it just ends up wasting supply.
I think that might be why I've never actually used any of my siege, because I'm always afraid I'll put it in the wrong spot.
And there's a finite amount of siege that can be dropped on a map. You can siege cap a map if you drop too much stuff.
I did not know that.
And that's one of the enemy server spy trolling techniques. People who have no life and make characters on other servers just so they can try and cheat ahead at World v World will just drop piles of flame rams in the middle of a field.
Wow.
They've changed it so it's not.
That's really dodgy though.
Oh yeah. And you're like, there's a troll here. Because you would see, like, why are there flame rams in the field? And I think they've made changes to the limits and the way that they're counting them so that things like that happen less, but you can still siege cap. And that's the other thing that happens here in Edge of the Mist, is that a lot of times Zergs will just they'll both run anti-clockwise, but on opposite sides of the map, so they're all just karma training. You don't have to actually fight the other players. You just keep capturing the same things over and over again.
Well, it reminds me of that post from Hunter, like the Coward's Guide to World vs. World. It's like, yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
Oh, and I can pass on to you Professor Enzo's -- rule of World v World. Never be the first one in or the last one out.
Oh, I'm usually one or the other. Why are people looking weird?
Yeah, what just happened?
Okay, I don't know where the mechanic for this is. In the 3 different areas of the mist, each one has a temple or a shrine in it. I forget what they're called.
You talk to the guy back there. He turns you into it.
Right. So it turns you into a little siege scorpion guy.
You get an achievement when you become it. You're very slow, too.
But you can teleport. You have like a blink.
Do I now?
One of them is a blink.
That's not it. There you go. I am way behind everyone now. But I'm a little machine bug, so that's...
You've got that going for you.
I'm going with it. Hi, look at me go! I'm gonna be useless.
One of the other ones,
I've been the orb, you
can be the elemental orb.
I have yet to figure out how to ring one of those damn bells in the Kodan area. I'm not even going to be able to get over... Oh, what happened?
I think they just capped it. Are you locked out? Oh, you're in the wall.
I am in the wall. Even when I'm not a mesmer, I'm freaking in mesmer land.
That was perfect timing.
Aww.
Okay, a second here. I wonder if I can... Nope, that didn't work. Hi, I'm in a wall.
So I guess we can either go back to the start, or you can wait there until the enemy Zerg shows up and knocks the wall down.
If somebody wanted to get into World vs. World, would you say that Edge of the Mist is where they should get started, at least to get their feet wet? Or would you say like a Borderland might be more advantageous?
See, I think Edge of the Mist is a very different experience from what I think of World versus World. And that may be because I started playing it more before the Edge of Mist actually existed. I kind of cut my teeth on the traditional or the original maps. So when I come to Edge of the Mist, I don't feel like I care as much because it's a 3-hour match. Even more so than the other maps, it's a Zerg train of just run around and get karma. Not to say that doesn't happen all the time in Borderlands or Eternal Battlegrounds. It just means more there. It's the whole week-long battle. It's the bonuses for the PvE maps. It's all of that matters. This is 3 hours killing time.
What did you think of some of the changes that they implemented within the main maps, like the capture points and whatnot, kind of the bridging the gap between PvP and World versus World?
See, I wasn't playing at the very beginning. I was still running around doing PvE and map completion and just gathering stuff and crafting too much. And
like when they took out the water area with the lake with the crate, and then they added those kind of like capture the flag type areas. Do you think it has made it more familiar with some of the mechanics of PvP that they might have tried it when they wouldn't have otherwise? Or do you think it's like, meh, it's okay?
I don't know of anyone who has. And I know that was the intention, but it didn't work for me because I've still never been in a PvP match. I mean, if there's a concern about people yelling at you for doing the wrong thing, that's where it would be worst. I hope it rings. I'm going to feel really bad for me. Yay!
The bells! The bells!
That was an amazing squee.
Now I have to run back from my chest because I left it there in my panic.
My theory is Edge of the Mist, they were doing fun. They were trying to make interesting maps, but they were also doing a lot of technical proof of concept. Oh, can we make something that does this or interacts this way? Or, okay, if we have players capture this point, can we have it do something else? And there are lots of environmental effects that aren't in the PvE world so much, like this blizzard going on right now. If you're not on the color that owns this area, the blizzard actually makes you run slower.
Oh, yes, I've been involved in that.
So, well, I do think the Edge of the Mist is fun, and it is a nice karma train. You can go get your fat loots. There were technical things they were trying to. I don't know if we want to try and take all 3 of them at once.
No, can we see about pulling one? Can we get one of the veterans?
Nope, they all come.
Nope.
Run away!
This was a horrible mistake!
We're sorry!
Oh!
No, Celeste!
Run like the wind.
Run like 30% of the wind.
Oh, I think just the champions. Oh, no, just the veterans there.
Oh, is he running back? Can you keep him?
Oh, no. My horrible range on my axe failed me.
Yeah, I think that's not going to work for us.
Well, this was oh dear.
What are y'all going to do, huh? Ooh.
That! Look at me not falling to my death like Celeste. I'll save you! Whee! Splat. Peter the Easter Bat. Splat.
Yes.
Oh no, there's dark goggles.
Where I can't remember how to get to them, but yeah, that's an achievement, is to dive off the top of this thing into that barrel.
But where was the barrel? Are you on it?
I am now.
Okay.
How did you get up to where diving goggles are?
I pulled the plug.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you missed. Oh, you
Me
both
too.
missed.
I was trying so hard. I'm gonna try again though.
I'll just wait here in case you miss again.
Further, yeah, I was trying to push forward because I think you can do that midair with the cartoon physics, can't you?
I believe so. Is your armor damaged?
Oh, I didn't repair it. in which Enzo is playing the part of my husband. the
Exasperated. Damn it! I wanted to know this.
Why do I even bother with you?
Good. I'm glad you saw the pull the plug thing because I missed that and I couldn't remember how to get up there.
Did you do it?
Oh, so close. Oh, I think you over. No, you made it. Nice shot.
My arms are in the air. Come on in. The water's fine. Oh wait. Oh, do you need? Oh, you need help healing. Sorry. I'll do it.
I got her. It's okay. You just enjoy that jacuzzi.
I joke. Here, So is that a? Oh, someone splooshed it. Oh, that was you. So
Yeah,
what
but look
do you...
up to watch her come down.
Oh,
it is amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna take screen caps of this. Oh, I forgot to take a screen cap. Oh, it doesn't matter. I get to try again.
Oh.
I don't know if I should be saying you're welcome.
Well, I want to get you an epic screen cap.
It is kind of amazing just to see people come. And when the Zerg comes through and a whole bunch of people are trying to get the achievement, it's amazing just to watch this rain shower of people coming through the clouds.
Oh, crap. Come on.
A little further. Yay!
Oh, you just barely.
Hey, barely's good enough.
Also, my screenshot folder's full, so I couldn't actually take a screen cap. How do you find this season so far comparing to the previous one as far as mechanics go?
Well, to be honest, I didn't really do much in the first season.
Oh!
I know, so I've not much to compare. And that's really because they've changed the achievements dramatically between the first and the second. I think one of the things that they got feedback on was that while the achievements weren't insurmountable, seemed that way to a lot of people, me included.
Okay.
So the number of captures you had to make, the number of player kills, the number of everything, it was just, there was so much of it that it was like, well, okay, if I spend all of my game in World v World, then okay, I can get to these chests. But if I decided I wasn't even going to try because it was too much. And that's, like I said, they've knocked it down considerably for this season.
So was it kind of a, I'm pretty sure I might get close, but I'm probably not going to get it, so why even bother at all? Was that kind of...
For the first season?
Yeah, like it's better to not even try to get it versus try really hard and fail.
I don't think I was going to get close, or that was my feeling at the time. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm not getting however many it was, 500 player kills or 700, but something, I don't remember what it was, but at the time I was just like, no, I'm not even going to bother. And I still played just because I was enjoying World v World, and it's something to do once you've maxed out your character, but I wasn't actively trying for the achievements. This time when I saw what the achievement levels were, I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that.
Alona, why don't you go ahead and go into what you did this week?
Well, I did Edge of the Mists with you and Professor Enzo. I did actually a couple other times on my own and with other guildies as well. Made some pretty decent inroads to my achievements for both either just, you know, the basic World versus World and also for the tournament. I don't think I'm not really trying to get the meta for the tournament, but if I get it, that would be awesome. And got the achievement for that dive into the bucket. And
that was fun.
That was a lot of fun. And the one for ringing the bells. And what was that? The one that I squeed really happy about that I got? I couldn't. That was the one.
There was a remarkable squee that came as soon as that bell rang.
I was so happy because I could never figure out how to do that before.
I have it recorded for posterity.
And about the buckets, as much fun as you all had getting it was nothing compared to the fun I had sitting underneath the buckets and watching you all plummet from the sky to just barely miss the bucket. And Res Alona, look up. Here comes Celeste. And no, so close. Not quite. Let me go Res Celeste. And rinse, repeat. It was great comedy.
Actually, when you landed in it, Celeste, I was on the edge watching, and you basically just, your head got in it, but it still gave you credit because the rest of you was hanging off into space. It was pretty awesome. Then I actually did quite a number of dungeons, which I call fungeons because I try not to take them too seriously. And I didn't come up with the term. I better qualify that. It's an awesome term, and I did not come up with it.
It's a fun dungeon.
It's a fun dungeon. So I did story mode of Sorrow's Embrace. I'd done that before, but we had a few guild members that needed it. And, we were all on. And so, what the heck, let's just do Sorrow's Embrace. And I quite like the story mode of that dungeon. And so that was one night. Another night, I did 3 dungeons in a row.
Oh my gosh.
That's madness.
I've never done it before. So I did Sorrow's Embrace Path 3 and then Crucible of Eternity Paths 1 and 2. And that was, they had a couple guildies. And no, I think it was myself and one saint from the guild. And then we were with Romo and 2 members of his guild for those. And they went well enough that we kept doing them. I wrote down zone completions on alts, but I actually never completed any zones this week at all. So I just basically alted the end. And I got my 10k chest with all of them sweet, sweet loots. Yay!
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think partly due to doing the Edge of the Mist stuff. That's probably what tipped me over the edge.
Yeah. I'm not even close to getting my 10k yet, but
No. So that's all I did. Now it's up to you. You guys can fight it out who gets to talk next.
I had what I was calling the atypical week of accomplishment because just by coincidence, that was kind of a big week for me. I got my warrior up to 80. So that's my first melee class. I tend to be stand at the distance and hit them from afar. So that was fun. Started gearing my char up.
Oh, Char Warrior?
Yep. We ran the guild I'm in, Wardens of Destiny. We went and ran a number of us through the personal story of Ra to finish that up for us. So I got my Necro finished on that.
Did you sit through all the credits?
Of course.
Awesome.
I love the song.
I love the song and the credits.
And then I stay there and I run around and I watch the magician.
Yeah.
And talk to everybody.
The dancing Moas.
The dancing Moas. Yeah, because you only get it once. Well, once per character. So I make the most of it. I also hit my 10k achievements. So I joined Alona in the 10k club.
I feel left out. Okay.
You need to join us, Celeste. One of us.
All the cool kids have 10k. Come on.
I'm at like 6.5 people. Oh.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's over halfway.
Oh, now she's going to cry. And the last thing I did is I started off my Guardian alt.
Is that your first Guardian?
It is my first Guardian. I have 8 slots for the 8 professions. So Guardian's going now, and then the last one will be the Thief. And that was my week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man.
It's a full week.
Y'all have been busy. I went to Edge in the Mists with y'all. And I played a little bit by myself in Edge also, trying to just run around and get karma and try and get some of the achievements done. I'm not sure that I'm actually going to end up getting the meta just because I don't even have 3 done, so I think it's unlikely.
We both started late too.
Oh yeah.
Trying for it. But you were in your regular, in your Borderlands too this week.
Yeah, I was just running around and mapping and trying to see if I could catch up with the Zerg and help. I went and beat on a wall on a Borderland for 40 minutes because they kept destroying our siege, and it was just not a fun time for me. It was mindless sort of thing because they just forget that we were there, so I'd be underwater hitting it, by myself. Yeah.
That would take 40 minutes.
Exactly. After a while, I just kind of gave up. I was too depressed to go on. It was that slow. Last night we were in Fields of Ruin, and we were running around there with you and other people in the guild and Hunter, which was interesting. It's the first time I've gotten a chance to play with him, I think. And we were all awed.
He had quip.
It was amazing. It looked really nice, actually. I am surprised at how nice it is, because it's kind of like, I want quip. I want every legendary when I see it in game, and then I think about it and I'm like, no, I don't even have a character that uses pistols.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Mesmers can use pistols.
Oh, my Mesmer doesn't use a pistol, though.
Oh.
I mean, I could use a pistol.
That's not what you said. Okay.
Oh, well, I have an engineer. It doesn't mean that she's using pistols, but... So, I really didn't get a whole lot of time to play this week, which makes me sad, but I really did enjoy running around on Edge of the Mists and the other Borderlands and trying to get things done. Because I do actually enjoy World versus World, it's just a matter of me getting in the mood to play it.
Well, that's why Edge is nice.
It is something you kind of have to be in the mood for.
Yeah, you just kind of pop in and do that. I do find going into World versus World is kind of like a dungeon or a fractal for me. It's like I have to okay, how long am I actually going to play for? I have to think about that in advance.
It can be a commitment where it's like, do I want to go and get all my stuff out of the bank, get my siege, and go run around? Now I've got to go spend time. Am I going to try and get a group together, or am I going to go try and find the commander and run with a Zerg and see what they're doing? And if you're just going to be on for 20 or 30 minutes, you may spend most of the time just running around trying to catch up with everyone.
Yeah. Just a quick reminder, if you want to come by to our live stream and hang out with us and see all of the crazy outtakes that don't make it to the show, you can go ahead and come by to twitch.tv/MMOreporter Wednesday nights at 9:30 p.m. EST, 6:30 p.m. PST. And a friendly reminder to rate and subscribe on iTunes or YouTube's.
Report from Vigil Keep.
China is launching, well, for us tomorrow on the 15th, and they made this really awesome video with a Chinese version of Fear Not This Night. And I wanted to go ahead and play a bit for y'all because it's really pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of bizarre after a while, because they use that whole, I think it was one of the trailers that they did where they transitioned that woman from in the water to having the Norn tattoos, and she pops out of the water and all of a sudden she's in the game. And that just kind of...
That was the original advertising. That was the ad that we all thought they were advertising the Secret World game.
Yeah.
I thought the transition worked really well in this video, though.
It did. It worked much better.
Particular one.
Yeah, it still gave me a flashback to that whole thing.
There's also some great footage of the beta event that they had in China, and there's pictures on Reddit from the gigantic Ritlock statue that was there. The guy said that it was over 10 meters, I think. And that's huge, really large. So, it's just, I am excited to see what the reception is like there, and not just like the hype stuff. So, but they're definitely pulling out all the stops.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
I'm not sure I understood the whole Avatar flying jellyfish stuff.
It was pretty.
It was pretty, but isn't that like straight out of Avatar?
I never saw Avatar.
I
didn't miss
haven't
much.
either.
You didn't miss much either? It was a very pretty movie, and the 3D was cool, but they had little flying jellyfish-looking things too. Someone in the chat room will back me up on that one. I hope. Or I imagined it.
I like that Orlin says that he wants the Rimlock statue on his front lawn. Makes
well, yeah,
sense.
who wouldn't?
Exactly.
Who wouldn't?
Right. So I'm just impressed with this video. Otherwise, it's there's the transition there. And it's cool. I'll let it play through that. There we go. Okay, now I can pause it. All right.
I like how Yum says you're on your own. Also, M says that the flying jellyfish are in the air in the grove. So there you go. Tie in.
Okay, fine.
Mister.
I'll go look for him.
Yeah. I actually, I love all versions of that song, but I really liked this version of it. I think it might be my favorite, actually.
It's nice.
We actually got a letter, an in-character letter that we are going to perform a dramatic reading of.
Okay.
Enzo's going to perform a dramatic reading of.
Well, because it was written in character.
Yes.
I felt it kind of needed to be read. And like I said, I'll do my best.
All right.
Greetings, lovely voices of the internet ether. No, please. I can tell you are now standing with excitement, clutching this message to your bosom and dancing for joy. But sit. The rest of you observing from the chat room, please hold your ovation. It is indeed I, Caledon Oakenshield, the hero of Shaymore. Long-time listener, first-time responder. Know that with this, my very heroic name's endorsement of your show, you can expect your channel to share in no small measure of success itself, as literally dozens will flock to it and your numbers will swell. I know you want to thank me, but hush. You are forever thanking me. Just take a short moment's rest before continuing. I have a question of the utmost importance. My question to you, Seers of Tyria, is, now that most of the populace of Lion's Arch is huddled at Vigil's Keep, to catch a glimpse of me, no doubt, do you foresee the Zephyrites from the Flying Bazaar of the Four Winds returning to do business there, and to acquire my autograph and photo to vendor? As it is a stronghold of the Pact, rather than a racially or politically aligned city center such as Divinity's Reach or the Black Citadel. Also, do you foresee me leading the pack into battle against this new Elder Dragon threat? Naturally, we all do. That wasn't really even a question. Yours and mine, C.O., the hero of Shaymore.
So I was laughing pretty much the entire day.
Yes. Celeste emailed that to me at work.
It's like, you must read this now.
And a full disclosure, it was actually written by my husband, and I didn't know he was going to do it. So...
And he did a wonderful job.
He did.
Of course, now I have to try and stop talking like this for the rest of the show. Sorry, kind of get into it.
Yeah, just go with it. Go with it. So the reason put this, even though it was a question that was for Ask an Azura, we put it here because we have news. News about the Zephyrites from ArenaNet.
It's not even a rumor or a speculation or a guess.
No. That starting on May 20th, we are going to get the Festival of the Four Winds, and it is going to be, it's a world celebration to partly tie in with the China launch, I believe. And it's the Zephyrites have returned to the Labyrinthine Cliffs, and Queen Jenna reopens the Crown Pavilion and Gauntlet. Woo! Woo!
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that. The official release said, in the Festival of the Four Winds release, players will experience an in-game festival celebrating the China launch and will get the opportunity to help rebuild the beloved city of Lion's Arch that was destroyed by Scarlet Briar in Season 1. That's right, we will.
That was the part that surprised me the most. That we're actually going to... I'm really hoping it's not rebuilt quickly.
I think it'll take time. I think, this will probably be more of the gathering resources part.
I'm just excited to have news about things happening.
Yay! And that we're getting both the Bazaar and the Crown Pavilion with the Gauntlet at the exact same time.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. Well, except one's Divinity's Reach and the other will be Lion's Arch. So it'll be interesting to see how that... I wonder if that's because otherwise the servers are just going to go berserk if they had it all in one area. So let's try split them up a bit.
Perhaps that's what it is.
Naganev is saying that they hope it won't look exactly the same. I don't think it will. Like the trailer that they put out, not exactly. It certainly seems to be decorated more Chinese-y. Is that a word?
Was that the Lion's Arch looking the same, or the Zephyrite looking the same?
Oh, I guess that's I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I would want a different looking LA, definitely. I think that's going to happen for sure.
If it came back with your face looks funny, it's like a little raisin. That was fun, and it holds a place in my heart, but please don't put it back. I mean, it needs to be a different Lion's Arch since it was destroyed, because this one is different from the original Lion's Arch when it got destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
I think it will be different. It'll be interesting. Well, yeah. It has to be different because it'll be all new material. It won't be like, oh, well, we got all these shipwrecks lying around. We might as well do something with them. Oh, well, now they're rotten. Now they're rotten and destroyed. Can't use those anymore.
By that measure, it's most likely that there's going to be a whole lot of Lion's Arch constructed out of Scarlet's ship, her drill, which would look kind of cool, but that may venture into like the Black Citadel type style. It's a bit too far.
I was actually just thinking, what if at that point, because if it's more of an amalgam of you don't have like human pirates starting the city that every other races flock to as well. It's the Char, the Silvari, the humans, like it's everyone. So you have the metal, you have like rock or what have you. Like, what if it starts looking like an amalgam of all the races together? That would look interesting.
I like that.
I'd like that as long as they didn't break it into districts like they have Divinity's Reach, where you have a different... So there's not a Char district and a Silvari district and an Asura district.
I agree. I'm thinking like it's one unified city, but it's a blend of styles. That would look really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually like one of my favorite areas in the Black Citadel is that one area in the kind of still within the city, not to where you get to Rin, but and it's got like plants and like flowing water. It's inside. Do you know the area where there's like humans there and Silvari? It's one of the only places where they are in the Black Citadel.
I'm trying to think. I don't spend a lot of time in the Black Citadel, to be honest.
Okay. Well, it's a lovely area of the Black Citadel.
I'll go back and look for it, but I tend to get lost there, even trying to do the map completion.
Me too.
Yeah, the under area, Hunter is saying. Not like Fort Trinity is still very militaristic, though. So it's very metal and strong. I'm more thinking like you have like the plant structures interwoven with metal structures, with stone structures, with, wood structures, like everything, and just a mix of styles all at the same time. Or maybe a metal structure that looks like a Silvari structure, or a Silvari, like something made out of plants that looks more Char-like or something. I don't know. It just could be really interesting.
A floating cube made of metal covered in leaves and vines.
Gladium Canton, that is the area, Jawa, that I'm thinking of, I think. Anyway, that would be really neat, I think, if it was rebuilt in that manner. But I think it will take a long time. Like, it's not... You can't build a city overnight.
No. I'm actually looking forward to the Four Winds coming back, because as much as I really don't like jumping puzzles, I really like those jumping puzzles.
Yeah.
There's someone I don't remember whether it's Facebook or Reddit, but someone else said, "Yay, it's coming back. I can plummet to my death again."
Yeah,
because
much.
You haven't plummeted to your death at any time in between now and then?
Well, yes, but it's so much more there. Trying for those crystals. And I enjoyed that because it was more like, to me, it felt more like vistas than jumping puzzles. And you could see, oh, wait, there's a crystal over there, and let me run around and see if I can find a way to get it. And to humble brag, this might have been the only scavenger hunt that I actually finished without going to Dolphy or another site to find where they were. I was actually able to get all the crystals. So I really enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to that coming back.
There was one crystal I couldn't figure out how to get. It was like on, the houses that were built in the cliff walls.
Mm-hmm.
There was one in that area, and I could not... How? I think it was just there to taunt me. I don't think anyone got that one. I firmly believe no one got that one. I think... Because it's just too far.
Well, and I can cheat on those also since I've got the engineer and the rifle and the jump shot.
Blink should work the same way.
And I will shamelessly use that, and I'm proud of it.
Good for you.
So some of the things that you could probably do in the meantime is what kind of came up over on Guild Wars 2 Hub, where they decided to explain a few of the things that you could do between the updates, which was, I think they probably released this before the Bazaar was announced, or that was coming back. But a few of these things I am trying to do, kind of. Get each class up to level 80. Sort of. I'm working toward it. Very, very slowly and not really at all, but it's something I could do, because I have one of each. You could craft a legendary weapon, which I am working towards at an almost imperceptible crawl. I'm doing it. Another of my choices was that you could screenshot yourself destroying each of the world bosses, and I was inspired to where I kind of want to make a video of my ranger shooting down all of the world bosses, like being awesome while doing it.
Would you do it slow-mo?
I could, but I was actually thinking that it would be really awesome, like with the number 2 longbow skill, to have that going like on infinite loop from a certain angle, and like just change the background of where I'm at, that sort of thing, shooting the different guys.
If you could get it from the exact same, where you're at the exact same angle, is that what you were saying?
Yeah. I thought it'd be cool.
Awesome.
But I don't know if it'll work.
And have quick cuts between it.
I thought it'd be cool, but I don't know if I could actually pull it off.
That would be impressive if you did.
Another side project that will probably never get done.
Yes. It's actually a really good list. I liked the complete every path of every dungeon at least once. I'm ways away from that, but that would be a fun one to try for. Farm black lion keys for weapon skins, and I'm just so sad that the winter's timber, the sclerite ones are, they're okay. I like the sclerite ones too, but I love the winter timber skins, and they're going to be gone. And I'm also trying for craft a legendary. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I did 5 tries at Mystic Clovers, and I got 4.
I hate you.
Beating the odds.
But then I did 5 more and only got 1. So it really worked out to only 50%.
Okay, so I feel all right then.
Yeah, I was going to stop.
Get your hopes up, and you're like, yay, this is going to be easy. No, it's not.
No. But the one that really caught my attention, which was something I've discussed with guildies before, and we've never actually done, is complete a dungeon with a group comprised of only one profession. I was like, yes, I want to do that. I don't really care which profession. I just want to do that.
And that's really doable.
Mm-hmm.
But what would be more interesting is do a dungeon with each of the professions. Because doing a dungeon with one profession, that happens all the time. It's called Zerk Warrior groups, and they're kind of obnoxious sometimes.
Yeah.
So that one doesn't really count. You have to do it with something else.
There was someone had put a video out of an all mesmer group taking out Giganticus lupicus in like 15 seconds or something insane. Am I making that up? I saw Ellie one.
That was happening for a while. I don't know if that's been patched up to oblivion or not, but it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, I think all mesmers, I agree. All mesmers would be fun to build, or an all minion master, or...
That would be funny, but I'm not sure how well it would work. Because minions
matter.
Tend to get wiped very quickly, and then you're left standing there going, run away?
Yeah, that'd be fun. Or an all Sylvari thief, Emma's saying. That's the other fun way of doing it, like all one race as well. A little bit trickier, but it'd be fun to do.
I think we ended up with a group by accident of all Asura running through a dungeon once. It was completely unintentional. It was just we were throwing together a group, and all of a sudden we looked around and said, hey, we're all Asura. Let's take a bunch of screenshots for the webpage, and off we go.
Yes. Did you succeed fantastically?
Yes, we did. Well, I don't know if it was fantastically, but we succeeded. Any dungeon group that takes me along is automatically getting a handicap.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty bad as well. So what sort of highlights did you think about, Enzo?
Well, I was working on things like the World v. World tournament. This season 2, they knocked the achievements down to a more reasonable level, and I think it's doable even for a relatively casual person if you go in and go play. So I think that's something you can definitely do. Get a commander tag? Nah, I guess if you wanted.
Yeah, I looked at that one. I'm like, I would not wish me being a commander on anyone, so I'm not even going to try.
The funniest one I thought, and I can only assume they meant it tongue-in-cheek, was to go for the Yak Slapper achievement in World v. World. Not only because it's a brilliant title, but it's 1 million yaks to get that title. I don't know if anyone has
I
it.
did not know that.
It's like, here you go, good luck. You're never going to see it. Yeah, if you want to use the downtime before the wins come out to go for the Yak Slapper achievement, God bless you, go right ahead. That's all you.
You can have my 5. Here you go. So what do you have to do for the Yak Slapper?
The supply yaks that are running around. You don't see them in Edge of the Mist. They're just in the original World v. World maps. You just have to kill them, but you have to kill 1 million of them.
Oh, that's all. So it's like the thirsty title track, which is also something I was thinking of going for.
Definitely takes a lot of time.
Part of filling in your time before the next patch, you may want to spend it by completing your monthly and daily achievements as often as possible. And we got a letter from the Guild Wars addict, who is actually also in our chat room, I believe, right now.
Yes. By
the name of Computech 100.
Gotta be an Asura.
Yes.
What you have to say that way. And so they wrote in again with some other fabulous tips, and I think Celeste was going to read that to us.
He was glad to see that the siege upgrades went over well and that a whole lot of people have managed to hopefully take advantage of it. I know that the prices have pretty much dropped a bit, so I'm guessing that, people have been taking advantage. He also manages to share another wonderful tip. The 500 salvages for this month's monthly achievement can seem a bit daunting. If you play a lot and salvage all of your blues and greens for luck, then you'll probably be okay. But for people that do not have the time, they will probably buy items on the trading post to salvage. Depending on what you buy, you can save some coin, and in some cases, make a little bit of coin for salvaging. For the first tip, getting salvage kits for karma. Everyone should know that you can get crude salvage kits all over the starting area for 28 karma. However, you can get the basic salvage kits for 77 karma, but they can only be found at the Triforge Point waypoint on the lower middle left side of Brisbane Wildlands. Look for the Renowned Heart karma vendor, Valian Mather. Also, you can get fine salvage kits for 252 karma in the Black Citadel and Holbreck at the cultural weaponsmiths in those cities. So it ends up working out that you pretty much make, you don't really make money, but it's the amount of karma used is always going to be less the amount of money you spend, because you can always make back karma faster than you can money, or at least that's been my experience. So he also offers up that you could buy a whole bunch of the shredded rags and shredded garments and sell them back as jute scraps, but you're just going to have to wait until they go up to a proper price so that you're actually making a profit. So you'd have to be a little bit more patient about that. He shares that a friend suggested I also mention that you could buy low-level blue green cloth armors and salvage those for jute and luck. And while this is true, it can be risky and end up costing money due to the limited return on the investment. But it's basically the same of buy low, sell high, and, hope that it all works out in the end. He does caution that, prices fluctuate. What is good today can be bad tomorrow, so do your math. And he links up to, of course, Guild Wars 2 Spidey and the Guild Wars 2 TP websites so that people are able to keep abreast of what's really happening and make sure that you're not losing money, at least.
Yeah.
We appreciate your tips, and we're so glad that we are able to share them.
I had no idea that there were the one in Brisbane at the Triforge Point waypoint. I didn't realize that was there, and I had no idea that the fine kits could be available in Black Citadel and Holbrook, but only there. Like, is it only there that you can get the fine salvage kits?
Apparently. I hadn't seen them for karma anywhere else.
So those alone are really, I had no idea. That's very interesting. And then the show notes will also have the math breakdowns, which are very, very interesting as well. So
Yes.
thanks for writing in again and providing some sweet, sweet math.
Yes. We appreciate it.
Brain, not brawn, will change the world.
Ask an Asura.
Of the many emails we got this week, because we got several, we had two that we pulled out for Ask an Azura. And the first one says, "Hello, Celeste and Alona. I'm terrible at World vs. World personally, but since Edge of the Mist has mostly become a champion and karma train, most of these activities count towards the achievements of the World vs. World season meta. While mindless and less profitable than dungeon running, it was an easy way for a World vs. World noob like me to get the meta. I doubt that I'm the first to share this with you, but I wanted to send it just in case. Keep up the fantastic podcasting, from one of the miscellaneous fans on Tarnished Coast." So thanks for sending that letter, and thanks for the tip and the compliment. It's funny because, as I mentioned at the What We Did this week, I just fell into that in the last couple days. And the Zerg gets to me after about half an hour. But if I feel like I don't really know what I want to do, I can pop in, follow Zerg for, half an hour, kill things, and who does not love killing things?
Pretty much.
Mindlessly. Everyone loves doing that. And it's fairly profitable, and you're not committed. Like if you're in with a group to do a dungeon, you're there for until that dungeon is done. But if something happens and you're in World versus World or Edge of the Mist, you can just nah, I'm out of here, bomb. And it's all good. So thanks for writing in with that.
I basically echoed the same sort of thing where I just go around and I'm following the train and it's relaxing and I'm still getting somewhat rewarded for it, and I definitely don't feel like I'm going to be messing up things, so I prefer it if I get a chance to. But really, if I'm having that World vs. World itch, I will usually go into the Borderlands and just kind of mess around because it's fun sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a lot of different opinions on the Edge of the Mists since it came out. And it is a wonderful map. I mean, the 3 very distinct regions, destroyable bridges, you can transform in the temples, the extra types of captures that are in there. So it's a lot of fun. I really like that. But like I said, a lot of people view it differently. Since I started on the original maps with the week-long battles, that's really what I think of personally when I think of World v. World. Because if someone just says, "Hey, I want to go to World v. World," I'm thinking, okay, let's head to the Borderlands and we'll check that out and see how we're standing there. And if things are good, then we can go see if anyone's invading another one. That's what I think of when I think of World v. World, because that's what I started out playing and played for a long time. Then when the Edge of Mist came out, a lot of us took that as, okay, there's a queue to get into the Eternal Battlegrounds, but I don't want to just sit here and run around and kill Skelk. So here's something you can do. You can go in and explore and get some of that World v. World experience feeling. There are other people running around. But yes, it has changed even since then, that it really is just a huge karma and achievement train a lot of times. And you can actually watch on the maps. It's kind of funny, actually. If you just stay in your spawn area where you're safe and you won't get killed, you can just pull up the map and watch, and you'll see, okay, well, here's a commander on my map, and you'll see where they're going and watch the orange swords pop up saying there's more than, 20 or 25 people in a fight there. And then you'll see orange.
That's what that means?
That's what the orange swords are. That means big battle. Big battle going on here.
I had no idea.
You can either charge towards it if you're looking for the fight, or run away from it if you don't want to get involved. Mm-hmm. But you can watch on the map, and sometimes you'll see, here's my commander on one side, and here are orange swords popping up on the opposite side of the map, and you can watch the swords as they both go anti-clockwise around the map, staying opposite of each other the whole time, because they're just going back and forth and taking and retaking the same things over and over and over again. because that's
Yep.
what works. On the other hand, there are people who really like to battle on the edge of the mists, and they're not there just for the train. And frankly, I'll go there just because it's kind of relaxing. I mean, if I'm running with a big group of people and I know we're running in there and we're probably not going to have a huge fight, I can just relax and lob grenades at guards, and we'll bash through a gate, and we'll go take a champion, and I'll take a tower, and then move on to the next and keep going around. There are guilds and commanders that go exclusively onto Edge of the Mists and are much more serious about it. They're not interested in just going and getting achievements and stuff. They're trying to win the match, which is great for them. And I certainly don't poo-poo that or want to get in their way. That's just not how I play that map. The problem is that different people get upset when others don't play the map the way they want to play it. So the serious people who are trying to win the match are upset that everyone's just doing this karma train and no one's really trying to win. The people who are just doing the karma train don't understand why these other people are giving them grief because they're trying to win a 3-hour match.
Yeah.
So it's really what you're interested in. There's no reason not to go in there and take a group. We've taken a group of guildies in there just to go actively try to cause trouble, not just follow the karma train, but try to cause trouble for the other colors on the map. Mm-hmm. But if it's the 3-hour thing for me personally, 3 hours, it's not really making a difference. The whole week-long thing, I know that if I can help hold our borderlands for an afternoon, that's going to have an effect on the outcome of the week-long match. It's affecting the bonuses in the PvE, and that just...
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Me personally, that's more what I think of for World v. World, and that's what I enjoy, because now we are having pitched battles. We are going and defending hills in our borderland, and we're going to fight to the last to try to keep whoever else from capping it. That's a lot of fun. That's where my heart lies when it comes to World v. World. Let's get something epic.
And I did find the World versus World maps daunting, and the more I do Edge of the Mist, the more I think, okay, now I'm kind of getting a handle. I know it's not the same tactics, but I'm getting a little bit better handle. Like for instance, I had no idea that the orange swords meant 25 people or more, so no clue that was the case. So, it's the baby steps, and I find, and because I know that Edge of the Mist does not affect the overall score, really, I don't worry about messing up.
It is a good intro to what goes on. I mean, you can get a feel for what's it like to run with a Zerg. Oh, this is what supply is. This is how the siege kind of works. So yeah, it's again, that's maybe a third way of viewing the Edge of Mist, is more of a training ground for World versus World. That's kind of what the Borderlands used to be. If you wanted to play it safe and kind of learn, go to your home Borderlands and just hang out there for a while.
Well, it also do you think it's done its job as far as getting the queues down for the main maps?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. The queues, we're up Tarnished Coast, so we're in tier 1. Queues are still mostly dependent on time of day and who happens to be out there running. There are certain commanders that run at certain times, and they'll go map roaming, and so get on the mumble and you're listening, and they'll say, oh, well, let's all go over to this other Borderlands real quick and try and accomplish A, B, and C. So everyone will jump over there. All of a sudden there's a queue because everyone's following that commander. And if you're trying in the evenings in prime time, you're going to find queues. Off hours, you pretty much hop into anywhere.
Actually, Krell said a huge shout out to all the TC folk who are helping with the PvE stuff. I think that's probably safe to say that any PvE player whose world is doing well in their tier and is getting the benefits of what the World versus World people are doing, like even when I'm never on it and I could see that our world is doing pretty good, which benefits me, even though I never helped with it, I do say a silent thank you. Like I do. And I'm sure other people, like people who are aware of why maybe they're getting 4 hits off that mature herb, like, oh, we must be doing well in World versus World. Check it out. Yes, we are. Thank you, World versus World people.
It's really funny. I don't even think about that. Because I'm usually just in there just for fun. Yeah, I know I don't feel like going and doing map completion. I've been playing alts for a while, and I just want to. I feel like going and playing World v World. I'm just doing it. There is the server pride. Because, yeah, it is kind of fun to win. There is the fun of just running a little Havoc squad. We'll get like 5 or 10 people together and just go do as much damage behind enemy lines as we can until they catch us and wipe us out. Then we get a good laugh and respawn and go to someplace else and start causing trouble again until they find us and wipe us, and then we get a good laugh and off we go. And that's one very important thing about World v World. If you're going to get upset about dying, just don't. Just don't go there.
Yeah. Actually, I was surprised how non-upset I got about it. Like, I thought for sure I would be upset, but once I was like, oh well, like, what are you gonna do?
Because when 7 or 10 people drop on your head, it's just over. You know what? And you can feel all right about it because at some point you and 8 of your friends will drop on some other poor unsuspecting schmo and just mow them down before they know what hit them. So it comes back around.
Yeah, negative saying it's better now that there are no repair costs. And, even when there was, it was like, but I guess, I don't know. It was actually surprising to me how non-upset I got about it. It was like, fair game. Like, I'm terrible at this, and there are a million of you.
Yeah.
Combination equals my death. What are you going to do?
Yeah, that's basically all you can do is just roll over and die and go, well, alrighty then.
Actually, that happened last night I was in? It ended up being a head-to-head battle, fairly big. And suddenly I realized that everyone else had run away and I was still there. I was surrounded by the enemy. I just stopped. I went, here you go, boys. Hands off the keyboard.
I hate that feeling. Come on, guys. We're almost through this gate. Hey, come on. Wait, where'd you go? Guys, what? Oh, hell.
Well, no, quite honestly, I believe they even mentioned it in map chat. It was like, and I totally didn't pay attention. There was like, yeah, I'm not even going to try fight back. There's no point. I basically just rolled over and went, here you go, soft weight belly. Go at it.
There are times that I've wished that there was a white flag key. Because you're like, you know what? There's no point. Here, just end it now. Here, I give up. Just end it. End it. I don't even want the down state. Just end it so I can respawn, please.
Accept this present of my loot.
Have this heavy bag and badge of honor.
Yeah.
My gift to thee. So, yeah, so thank you for writing in. I don't think we actually even had they just said a miscellaneous fan on Tarnished Coast.
Yes.
So, thank you.
We also have another email from Scott who says, hi, I enjoy the podcast. I wish there were more good podcasts out there still updating weekly for Guild Wars 2 so I can waste more good work time geeking out. Can you recommend any? He goes on to say, also I play casually, usually only an hour a day or so. I've heard you give good advice occasionally on how to quickly get through certain types of daily tasks. Can you go through all of them and explain how you effectively accomplish them as quickly as possible? More than once I've logged on with less than 15 minutes, and 1 or 2 daily tasks left to do, and I've frantically looked for a place with a high density of events, high drop rate of items for salvage, lots of dead NPCs for revive, etc. Please go through all the popular daily events and tell me your go-to zones for each. Thank you, Scott.
That's a big question, Scott. So, well, the first part isn't necessarily. So I'm going to assume, since you mentioned specifically about being at work, that you're more interested in audio podcasts. And I'm totally in the same boat. Where I work, I can't stream video. And so, I can't, there's a lot of podcasts out there that are just like not open to me. So for audio ones, there were more, and it's kind of like the pool of it has gotten quite small, but it's grown a bit again recently. So the ones I listen to that I subscribe to are Relics of Ore, Chronicles of Tyria, Visual Wood, because they recently put their podcast onto iTunes. And they don't have a huge section where they talk specifically about Guild Wars 2, but they're just guys having fun and chatting. They'll talk about Guild Wars 2 occasionally.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then, of course, there's ours. Which I also confessed on Twitter that I actually listened to our own podcast when it goes live. I'm like, download it, listen to it. I'm actually kind of happy that a few more come back. Like, I know Relics of War was only YouTube for a while, and they recently started including an audio version, which I appreciate. I'm really glad they're doing that. Now, I would like to put a general request out to podcasters. If they have the opportunity to just like do an audio rip that they can then put on iTunes or some other streaming source, do it. Because there are a lot of people, I think, that like audio podcasts. For the second part, for dailies, for karma, ambience, and revives, and sometimes events, I like right around Fort Trinity in Straits of Devastation. I find like kind of like the south area of Fort Trinity, because there's that one kind of encampment that always ends up with a crap ton of events that happen around it. There are more ambience that you can shake a stick at. Pretty good harvesting actually as well. If I've logged in and I'm near Divinity's Reach, I will just go to Queensdale because the God's Lost Swamp is a good place to go for reviving and ambience. And if you time it right, the Shatterer's there. Plains of Ashford, also pretty good. There's a couple chain events that happen right outside the starter area that are pretty good for both revive and events. I don't seem to recall it being super awesome for ambience, though. And Wayfarer, for ambience, if you go up to where the Isomir, the worm is, there's all those ravens that spawn continuously. Great place for ambience.
It takes a little while longer than most other places, though, because you have to wait for them to respawn.
Yeah, they spawn pretty quick, though. I got really high-pitched on that for some reason. I have no idea. But those, all the Queensdale, Plains of Ashford, and Wayfarer are pretty good for about the same things that I listed for Straits, but except for maybe Karma. And as far as trying to get drops when it's salvager, whenever it's a salvager daily, I need to kill something to get something I could salvage. I never get salvage drops. I will get grays that I can vendor. I will get mats. I will get bags of loot, but I will get nothing I can salvage. It's like, it's like, why aren't you people dropping weapons or clothing of some variety? You're wearing it. Why can't I take it?
They're all out to get you.
Yes. And I will often be running around and think this would be a great place to remember to do X, Y, or Z for dailies. And then I always forget to make a note of it. And of course, for dailies, I always go to my home instance because I have it well kitted out. And it gets me to 90% of Gatherer. And I'm not sure how that works out for other people. If you know someone who has a well kitted out home instance, like me, you can go into theirs and farm the crap out of it and get 90% of your daily Gatherer in one go.
Yeah, but what do you do with all the extra sprockets?
I'm such a hoarder.
I know, but I've got half a bank tab filled with sprockets. I'm not going to go gather any more sprockets from my home instance.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Orlin in the chat room is mentioning the daily feast. You can buy rice in bulk to eat it for the daily feast.
Oh.
I haven't seen the daily feast since the patch update, though.
Might have gone the same way as Aquatic Slayer.
Mystic Forge Smith. But that was a really good tip for that one. And I also included in the show notes, there will be a link to Guild Wars 2 Hub had a complete daily guide achievement, and also Dolphy had one. They were pre-patched though, so they're going to be a little bit out of date, but for the rotations that are still in play, I think that the entries for those will still be valid.
Pretty much. I pretty much went in the same sort of direction. Although I veered a little bit further. For gathering, I will go to my home instance, and that usually gets me to maybe 60%. After that, if I'm willing to go to Queensdale, I will go to the Etten Cave near Fenny Point, because there is always a rich node in there that will always push me over the top if I need it. If not, there's usually 4 or 5 other copper nodes very nearby that I could grab. For group events, I usually just do Queensdale because the rotation there is very quick. I have also been with M to Kessex, and that quick little 3 or 4 events that you can do on that little train is very fast, very efficient.
She has that down to a science.
I may end up doing that if I wasn't already going to Finney or God's Lost on those days. Like, I go to God's Lost for the ambience because there's so many there, and it usually doesn't take too long for the respawns if I have to. You just don't see a whole lot of people running through there at the exact same time that you are. Although I haven't really tried to do it with Mega Server technology enacted, so that may be the issue. For Reviver, I almost always go to the Hunter's Lodge or the Raven Shrine and just kind of wander north along the road in Wayfarer, because there will be dead NPCs up and down that road all the time. They're always going down, and you can always just go right by them and, rub them to make them come alive again.
They're there. I'll make you better.
You'd think they'd learn by now.
Let me rub you.
Hey, every time I walk down this road, I die. Maybe we should take another route? No, back down the road.
Oh, why would I take another route? Someone else always comes to get me.
Celeste will be here to rub my belly.
Exactly. When it comes to salvaging, I usually will go through and check my alts that I haven't played for a while, or that I played and switched over very quickly. It's something that I know they're probably going to have some stuff in their bags. Like, if I'm really on a time crunch, I will do that. I will just alt into all my other characters and see, okay, what can I salvage? Because usually they're going to have at least a few blues on each, and if I have to, I can craft and then salvage on one of them. Mm-hmm. So it's something different to think about.
Do you guys try to finish your dailies on an 80? I go out of my way to finish my dailies on an 80 versus a lower level character.
I don't think that it makes a difference on whether or not you're 80 anymore.
The money's quite a bit different.
Huh, okay.
I've actually will do 4 out of the 5 on my 80 and then switch to whoever I'm trying to level to get the experience bonus.
I thought they
but you still get experience,
though. Yeah, but I thought that the amount was negligible compared to what it had been at one point.
And you might be right, but I still just figure, I don't need another skill point on my main. I'll go ahead and add the experience to whoever I'm leveling at the time.
I want the silver.
That's because you're both going for legendaries.
I want the more money. More money. It's just because I'm a greedy hoarder when it comes to game. You listed somewhere that I had forgot to list, Enzo, but I agree with you 100%.
If I'm in a hurry, I generally head to Frostgorge, up by the Waves dungeon, because they're the Codens, refugees who always need reviving, and that's an event.
And it's always going on. Constantly
there. And then there's the little Quaggin down there that are being, oh no, Ice Brood are attacking Quaggin. Yes. Okay, fine. So I'll go kill them. And those two events cycle very quickly. So you can always jump back and forth between them and get events quickly. If the Claw of Jormag happens to pop, that's even better.
Yeah.
There are lots of T5 and 6 mats there. Mm-hmm. I go after them all the time. There are lots of little bunnies and snow owls flying around for the ambience.
Oh, you kill the snow owl?
Only when they tell me to.
I can't kill the birds. I can't, other than ravens for whatever reason. I can't kill the bird, the white.
See, and the ravens are the ones I feel bad about. I don't go kill them because that's a raven shrine. It's just right there. No, but yeah. We all sing "Kill the Wabbits" and charge off and kill all the ambience.
Yeah, the Frostgorge is actually one of my favorite zones, and for many of the reasons that you mentioned, plus it's beautiful. I love the snowy zones. I should also preface that in our guild, Saint in our guild is a notorious ambient hoarder. He will chase to kill all the ambients, whether it's ambient killer or not. And you basically, if ambient killer is one of the dailies, you cannot be in a party with him because you are not going to get it. He will have been done, and he still compulsively kills them before you possibly can get to him. So it's whenever I see ambient killer, it's I can't be in a party. I have to go do it by myself.
That's mildly concerning.
Because otherwise I'm not going to get it.
Wow.
You'll learn.
Tales of Tyria.
we got another letter, which actually sounds like I'm complaining. I'm totally not complaining. This is awesome getting so many letters from listeners this week. So we got one from Tybalt. Says, "Hello, Salona. I'm not sure if it's in the game or not, but I would like to see more NPCs using the Azura Gates to travel around the world. I've spent many a lazy afternoon following NPCs around, sometimes like a creeper, just to listen to their various conversations. But I don't recall following any of them through a gate. Are there some that do travel through gates and I haven't seen them yet? I just think it would be spiffy to see a pack of Dolyak taking supplies from Divinity's Reach to Ebonhawk Citadel and following through the gate to see it on the other side. Thanks and keep up the great work, Tybalt. P.S. Seeing a trader that actually travels from zone to zone would be spiffy too." I like that you use spiffy, by the way. More people need to use spiffy.
Agreed.
So thanks for the email for that. I believe the gift Dolyaks during Winter's Day, and I'm not sure if the evacuees traveled through gates, but the Dolyaks actually, they went through the gates and you would see them come out the other side in Lion's Arch, from Lion's Arch to Divinity's Reach, sorry. So you'd see that they'd go through and you'd be in, if I happened to be in Lion's Arch, I'd see the Dolyaks, the gift Dolyaks come through all laden down with their toys and junk. And the evacuees, except they went through zone portals, except for the ones that went through the gate into Lornar's. But I don't know if they went through the other side. And those were the only two situations I could think of.
I could have sworn that I tried following the gift Dolyaks through and did not see them on the other side, but you did. Wow, I wish I had. I must have either missed them or gone to the wrong gate. I don't know. Huh. Yeah.
Or maybe just the timing was off, or maybe with the maps, maybe just it coincided. You ended up on a different map than that particular Dolyak went to.
That actually makes
I can
more
see that
sense.
happening. In any event, I totally agree. I think it would be cool to occasionally run into specifically like a traveling NPC, and their dialogue referenced where they had come from, or maybe hints where they're going to go in the world, like almost like kind of for a no real reason scavenger hunt. Like this little rock star NPC dude that goes through the world and no one knows where he's going to go, but he lets you know somehow. Then thinking about that got me thinking about Nicholas the Traveler from Guild Wars 1, who just dicked around the world and you could find him and he was awesome and gave us presents. And not a hint or anything, but I'm totally hinting that something like a successor to Nicholas the Traveler would be really awesome.
It would be amazing if something like that happened. I would love that. And honestly, I was thinking that because we haven't seen the minstrel, Marcelo Di Giacomo, like at all, it'd be pretty awesome to see him become the next traveler.
And I love that idea. We also haven't seen Hohotron or Hobotron or Xtron for a while.
Not since Scarlet.
Not since before Scarlet. So
no, he's
probably in prison with what?
He's around somewhere.
He's in the little refugee camp near Vigil.
Is he still?
Yeah, he has a poem that he tells you that he wrote about Scarlet. It's like, Scarlet was alive, Scarlet is dead.
I apparently have...
That's the entire poem.
I'm not going to listen to that poem.
I am awful person. Okay, so we've seen him, but yes, I love the idea of Marcelo being the next traveler and with little bits of gifts for us. Or just, even if it was like, I don't know, information, prescient hints of what's about to come, but they're vague enough. I don't know. Yeah, C-3PO and R2-D2 combo. Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Hobotron ate the minstrel. That's a terrible thing to say, Orlin. But yeah, I would love the idea of, or even like a band of travelers that they were in different parts at different times.
The one weird thing with trying to pull it off, and this may be what I encountered and you didn't, which is the different maps. And now with Mega Server and different maps spawning out that you don't even really have home instances anymore, is that when something goes through a portal, what map on the other side does it appear on? Is there a home instance of Divinity's Reach or wherever else that they end up? And if you chase someone through, then if you end up on a different map, like we're theorizing I did, now you have an inconsistency where it goes through, but it doesn't come out because you don't see it. And that, I think gets trickier from a technical design standpoint. Not to say that there wouldn't be some way of doing it, but
unless
yeah, I don't know.
Unless they were timed. Okay, so
To always appear on every map?
Okay, well, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Like, the Dolyak was before the mega server, so it was when there were overflows and when there was the main servers and whatnot. Now with mega servers, they could just be handled exactly like world bosses. Realistically, they're on a timer.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It would always go through the gate at 5 minutes till, so then at 4 minutes till, it always appeared on the other map, on the other side, on every map.
It would work. And it's
Feasible?
not like Terria's small or anything like Texas. That the route would be, it would take a long time to go through it if they were doing it at a walking pace.
Oh yeah, it'd be a while.
Yeah. Okay, so if ANET's listening, they can call us. We've got the details worked out.
Yes.
Wandering minstrels and vendors. Done.
And also, we have the code written up. You just have to plunk it in.
Right, yeah. We've got it covered.
Note, I'm a compulsive liar.
I would like to see the code.
They just say, NPCs that travel are spiffy. That's all it says.
Right.
Spiffy is the magical word that will make it happen.
So now we want to go ahead and say that if you have a community event that you would like to share, please send us an email. We'd love to be able to share it on the show.
And if you've got a burning question for our Ask an Azura segment, let us know. And if we get lots of wonderful, wonderful emails, we may end up just filtering them into every part of the show and not just Ask an Azura.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and talk about our sponsors. Our first sponsor is Doghouse Systems. If you use the coupon code MMOReporter at doghousesystems.com, they will double your RAM and a new PC or laptop of your choice for free.
Or you can go to audibletrial.com/MMOReporter and you will get your first month free for audiobooks that you can listen to.
Indeed they can.
And it's awesome.
It is. Alona, if people want to get in contact with us, like maybe to send us so many more emails, what are some of the many ways that they could do so?
Send us 1,000,000 emails at gwreporter@mmorreporter.com. You can visit us, follow us on Twitter at gwreporter. Our website is guildwarsreporter.com. You can leave us a voicemail at 616-666-6778 or use the widget on the right-hand side of the website. Our YouTube channel is MMO Reporter Network, and remember to like our videos and subscribe to the GW Reporter playlist. On Facebook, we are GW Reporter. Tumblr is gwreporter.tumblr.com. Or you can visit us individually on Twitter. And Professor Enzo is at
Prof. P-R-O-F Enzo GW2. And if I get more than 3 or more new followers, I may have to tweet more than the 2 or 3 times a week that I do.
That is a laudable goal. And Celeste is at
Saliuki.
I have my arms spread wide each time I do that at. And I am at One Big Pear.
Yay!
Spelt like the fruit. I haven't specified that in a while.
Now I'm going to feel guilted into having to tweet and do something now that people know that I exist.
You just should tweet every day. Tweet.
So we want to thank the chat room for coming by. We appreciate you guys coming every week.
And also suggesting new sponsors. Thank you for that.
Yep. Appreciate it. And thank you, Professor Enzo, for coming by. We do appreciate you spending your night with us.
It was a pleasure to be here.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing the video of us bombing around Edge of the Mists and throwing questions at you about World versus World and whatnot.
Especially the barrel jumps.
The barrel jumps and the bell ringing. The bells! The bells!
Thank you, Alona, as well, for coming by. Thank you for being lovely.
Thank you. We need to come up with a descriptor for you. We got a beguiling. We got a lovely. What should
the tired?
The tired.
Sounds about right.
The done with it Celeste.
The sleepy Celeste.
But we need an awesome word for that.
Dunno. Too tired.
The fatigued.
Yes.
Fatigued.
Or as I
Calvin
like
the
to say,
juiced.
juiced Celeste. Or how I like to say fatigue, fatigued.
We hope you enjoyed the podcast. We hope that you come back again next week. But most importantly, we hope to see you in game.